into the next team here where Cole Cash is a plenty here with Kirk Cousins and company and Kurt Chains. I forgot what his nickname is, but the most games won by a single score is this team right here, your NFC North champions from a year ago, the Minnesota Vikings, grittying their way, throwing up the chains on Kirk on every plane ride. Everything going right for Kevin O'Connell, who I don't know if this is going to be a biasness or not. I think he should have won Coach of the Year last year. I felt like he earned that, especially with, Mike Zimmer and all that stuff, going from a 6-win team to a playoff team. I don't know about y'all, but that's what I was thinking. But another year, Kirk Cousins in a contract year. He says, I'm not negotiating a contract till after the season. We'll see if he's going to be QB1 heading into 2024. But, this leaves that question. Are the Vikings the division winner going into this year? And let's go into the offense here, where they make the addition of Jordan Addison. They match him with Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne. You can argue that, this might be the best receiving core in the NFC North. TJ Hawkinson, they traded in midseason from Detroit. A very weird inter-division trade, too, especially among like a large name like TJ Hawkinson, who's a top 5 tight end. I don't know. And he's also nursing an injury as well. But I think the question is, can Alexander Mattison step up and be that guy that Dalvin Cook was since 2017? That's my worry, is the running back room. There's no one here that makes me say, like, hey, they can, handle the workload if they needed to be called upon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. If you're going to look at one thing and that kind of scares you, it's definitely the running back room. We've seen Alexander Mattison do very well filling in for Dalvin Cook, but Alexander Madison's now the full guy. Like, this is it. Like, you were getting all the touches. Like, how's he going to handle that?
Yeah,
like, same thing with Tony Pollard. Like, how can you guys handle getting the bulk of the carries? I love Jordan Addison. I thought that was possibly another steal of the draft. It's shockingly, they get Jefferson they didn't expect to. They get Addison. I don't think they were expecting to get Addison. So I think Minnesota has a really good receiving core. I think KJ Osborne really lit up the box score late in the season last year. So it's going to come down to Kirk Shiesty. It's, Captain Kirk. It's what it is. It's Kirk Cousins, and can he deliver? This team's now not going to surprise some people. Can they prove the doubters wrong? That's the big one here. They're getting very much doubted. They're going to take a step back, myself included. Let's go. Let's see it. And I don't know if we're going to see it. That's the scary part here with Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, the addition of Addison obviously is solid for losing Adam Thielen, which was it was a solid time to lose Adam Thielen in his career.
Yeah, I think it's an upgrade.
Yeah, and Addison's perfect addition right in that spot. But yeah, I mean, like you said, we got to see with Alexander Mattison. We've only gotten him and successfully gotten him in stints, never for a full season being the guy. So that's obviously it. But hey, I'm not saying that this team can't succeed. I'm not saying that at all, because they definitely have the potential to do so. And Hawkinson, and they have, it's the best tight end they've had in a while. Yeah, I don't know. Team's still good. Offense is still good.
Yeah, I got nothing else. Well, yeah. It's the tale of two halves here with the defense now. I am not a fan of this defense whatsoever. They get rid of Eric Hendricks. He goes to the Chargers. They trade away Zadarius Smith. Like, you kind of trade away like 2 home run guys that are just like in the middle of the field. They can, do stuff. I don't know. Danielle Hunter, I don't think he's going to be there after this year. He's getting paid a lot. I don't think he's going to be there after this year. I wasn't a huge fan of like the Marcus Davenport signing. They also cut Patrick Peterson. They bring in Byron Murphy from Arizona. He's now the lead guy. I know Cameron Bynum.
Was Anthony Barr on the team last year still, right?
Nah, he was on the Cowboys, I think.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. But I love their offense a lot more than other teams in this division. So that is the only hope for them. It's a prove-it year for Marcus Davenport. Ooh, God, New Orleans moved heaven and earth for him, and he just did not work out at all. I think Jordan Hicks is a solid player. You know what you're getting in Danielle Hunter. Harris Smith's a baller in the back end. Can Kirk Cousins do it? They got an upgrade at wide receiver in Jordan Addison, losing Thielen. That's kind of what it comes down to for me.
I think the question, though, is will Kirk Cousins be there after 2024?
I don't know. They keep wanting to extend him. They want
to extend him, but he's kind of like, I'm gonna wait this out. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna.
He's seeing the market. He's not silly. If he has
I really think he might end up with the Niners or the Rams. I mean, that's always been reported that they've been calling wanting to get a quarterback, but
yeah,
I don't know. If you lose Kirk Cousins and you go to a rookie, I think that really affects Justin Jefferson and what he might want to do.
He's gonna be calling to get the heck out of town.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, on this, just by the way, just to stay on defense for a sec, Juwan Williams was good in New England, but I would put that as a factor of him being on New England and being in that defense as why he was good. I know, he's not starting.
Whoa, they got an upgrade at DC. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they got Brian Flores.
That's right.
You know how it works with New England and those corners and how that works out.
I'm just saying, you got Brian Flores there now.
I don't even think Williams touches the field. I think Booth is honestly ahead of him.
That's
and then I mean, too, Cameron Bynum, Lewis Seen that we saw last year, he broke his leg against the Saints in London. He was stuck there for 3 months just trying to get, to a point where he could fly back with the team.
I don't think this is the worst defense in the league, but it's not.
Definitely
I think it could get exposed pretty quickly, but that's also with the schedule that they have as well.
Speaking of Will, gimme.
Let's look at the schedule here. I mean, the big thing though, a Thursday night game against Philly early in the season.
Tough.
Yeah.
They're gonna want that.
Kansas City, the 49ers. Joe Burr and the Bengals, week 15. And also Detroit, back to 2 times in the last 3 weeks of the season. I honestly think the NFC North could be the 4th seed for the playoffs this year for the NFC. I'm not super sold on them. I think it could be a 10-win team. I think it could be a generous 10-win team.
So it almost sounds like Detroit could win the division, Will, and make playoffs.
Or Bears.
Oh, okay. That's where you're leaning. All right. I don't know. Yeah, I kind of have this being – I still have it being the Vikings or Detroit in the division at like 10 or 11 wins max, maybe 12. The Vikings are like Detroit. They're going to compete in every game they're in, and they're going to compete in pretty much any game on this schedule as well. The Vikings are. A lot of the games could go either way. They did last year. It was the same story. They were close in every game, and it either went well, didn't go well. It's kind of always been the story for the Vikings the last few years with Kirk. So I don't know. But, yeah. I think them and the Lions both make playoffs. Maybe.
I think they go 2-2 after the Carolina game. Because you got to play Philly, and then you got to play the Chargers, and Herbert's not a pushover, and then you play the Chiefs.
San Fran's tough. I have such a hard time judging teams against San Fran just because of San Fran's quarterback. I don't know what's going on. Sam Darnold just got announced as being quarterback 2. So
Trey Lance could honestly be traded up into Minnesota. Yeah. I know there's been a bunch of reports that they've been exploring trying to trade for Trey Lance and just let him be the QB2.
Wow. Colton, what do you think?
I agree. I think they're around that 10-win mark. I think that could be a playoff team, possibly division winners if they prove some people. Again, I think they got an upgrade at wide receiver with Addison over Thielen. So if they can get a connection like he has with Justin Jefferson, I think this team could win the division. They have a lot of big games. That's not really a good sign for Kirk Cousins. So we'll see. Gosh, can Kirk finally take the step and win some big football games? Like I know they had a lot of comeback wins last year. Not something to be proud of. Like to even be putting yourself in the spot like that, like they were. The win differential, not good. Like they got to take a step this year. Kirk Cousins is the big one, and I think it's a coin flip between them and Detroit for the division. Like if you were asking me, I think I'm leaning Minnesota, but Detroit's nipping. Like they're there, so I think that's where I'm at with this division.
Hey, what would it take for the Vikings to have a successful season? I feel like that's tough.
In a playoff game,
A much better defense. That defense cost them that playoff game. They could have beaten the Giants if they had at least a step up. Not even saying like a drastic step, like a step from what they had last year.
It's fair. Yeah, playoff where they need to start. They've competed.
Honestly, maybe repeat seasons from Kirk Cousins, just showing like, hey, I could throw 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. I could do that and just continue to show I'm the guy. And maybe even seeing, hey, is Kirk Cousins going to be around, or are we going to be drafting going to be in the quarterback market trying to get Caleb Williams next year?
Yeah, they're not going to be that bad.
I know that. I mean, listen, no one's going to be as bad as the Cardinals. Okay, it's going to take a mile and a lot of prayers to get that bad.
Isn't that crazy that